Hey guys, how's it going? It's Michael DAC7 here. How are you guys today? Today we're going to be taking a look at how to build faster and more efficiently in Fortnite. You know, when I first started playing Fortnite, I wish this video was around, or maybe explained in a better way than some of the videos I've seen online. I'm going to be taking you through the quick, simple, easy steps to actually make an improvement in your building, not just by watching streamers, seeing what they're doing and trying to implement it in your own gameplay, because quite frankly that just doesn't work. With anything in life, you need to physically do it in order to get better, and I think that's where people struggle in this game. Is they just think that by getting in fights that they'll naturally get better at building, and that just doesn't happen. And that's what happened to me. I played I don't know how many games before I realized that in order for me to get better at building, I was going to need to take time, set aside, and practice building on its own, separate from everything else in the game. So let's get right into it. I got 5 steps for you guys as to how to improve your building, and let's first start with the simple ones. Let's start with our sensitivity. Now, sensitivity is one of those things that's a feel issue. You need to figure out what sensitivity feels best for you, but in order to be efficient at building, you're going to need to work with a little bit of a higher sensitivity. That way you can react to certain situations and build in a manner that allows you to win engagements. For me, sensitivity that works, that I've found that allows me to build effectively and allows me to win engagements, is about a 6. Now, I do have control freaks on my controller, so 6 does feel more like 7.5, 8. So if you're not using control freaks or performance thumbsticks, then 8, 7, somewhere in that range might be better for you. But that's up to you. You got to figure out what works best for you. Next thing we got to talk about is building controls. When the game first came out, or when I first started playing it, I should say, Combat Pro was what I had it set to. Only a few months after I was playing did Builder Pro come out. And when Builder Pro came out, I was resistant to switching because I'd already gotten pretty used to building on Combat Pro, where you had to press circle or B in Xbox's case and flip through your bumpers in order to change your materials. And I thought I was getting efficient at it, and then a buddy of mine who had already switched said, you have to switch, it's far superior. And only until I got the hang of it did I realize that it truly is superior to any other building mode on console. It allows you to have designated buttons for your building, as opposed to having to flip through 2 buttons for 4 different building options. You have a button designated for each of the building options. It makes a huge difference. It saves you time and energy down the road. So switch to Builder Pro, take the time to learn it. You'll thank me later. Next up, similar to what they tell you in sales, always be closing, always be farming. I can't tell you the amount of games that I've had where I run out of materials, and that's mainly the reason I die late in the game. This goes hand in hand with this tip as well. Looting is not always better than farming. Granted, the weapons that you have do give you a benefit in a lot of fights. I will give you that. However, most weapons in the game, if you can use them efficiently, are far more effective if you have a ton of materials. If I have 250 wood and very little other materials, but I have a gold scar, yeah, I'm going to be killing more people, but the second I run out of materials, I might as well have nothing in my hand because I'm pretty much a sitting duck. You need to have materials. Ideally, if you can have good loot and good material amounts, then you're set, but, don't always prioritize looting to farming. There needs to be a balance. You need to have enough materials and good loot. So that's why I say always be farming, because one thing I've learned as I've played more and more is if I land in a named destination on the map that doesn't have a lot of trees or materials for me to farm in the area, for example, Pleasant Park, it doesn't have too many materials around it, because you're landing in the homes and you're looting for weapons and such. If you farm out all of the different furniture pieces as you're moving through the house looting, you actually wind up getting a lot of materials. And if you do that for 2 or 3 houses, you walk out of Pleasant with 300-400 wood plus. So always be farming. That's one of the best tips I can give you, because it'll make you win more engagements just because you can defend yourself and build up. And the last tip I will give you is with regards to how to practice your building. It was a little easier when the playground mode was out, because you got like 10 times materials and you can just go into a private lobby and, build up and test different building methods and such. Now that it's away, you're going to have to go into a game and find a destination on the map where you can farm a lot of materials, and you're just going to need to build. Spend the first 1 or 2 games building up, sideways, left, right, defending different types of builds. Just get a sense of actually physically pressing your buttons in those configurations to make builds, because that will help you later on in build fights. For some reason, I seem to have thought that by watching streamers and seeing how quickly they're building, that, I could just replicate that next time I'm in a build fight. Wrong. You need to actually build in-game, away from everybody else, get the hang of it, so that when you do get in a build fight, it feels comfortable to you. It feels natural. It doesn't feel forced. Once it starts to feel natural, that's when you're going to get better in this game. This game is more so about building than it is winning engagements, in my opinion. You need to build to win fights most of the time. Strategic building. Hopefully this helps you guys. I really wish somebody had made a video and explaining it in as simple terms as I'm trying to explain it to you guys when I first started playing. So hopefully this helps you, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.